If we agree to that, we all get just disqualified.
It's like the problematic, sure.
But it would have worked out this way. Because I don't care about winning.
No.
I didn't care about winning the Sorvino. It's nice.
Mm.
I think this medal plate is also nice.
What you are saying, because if you are saying I don't care about winning, that means that you don't care about the tournament.
How should we, okay?
Yeah, sure.
We'll begin. I go.
So no, you don't.
I go. I must. Sorry.
No.
I mean, like.
Were you first place in Swiss?
Oh, sure.
Then you don't get to.
I forget. I forgot. Okay.
Since I was second, I
You
didn't
are
play.
second.
Yeah, it was the same in Ovino when we sat down to the finals, and I asked him who was the higher seed, and he said, yeah, I was 8, you can start, whatever, and I was like, yeah, I was 7.
That's enough.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Fun.
Okay.
Watercolor, good stuff.
Well, guys, hi. We're back with our semi-final matchups.
Hey everyone.
Rather, and we're gonna be watching a match between Anton Karlinski, who's on Bug Red Delver, and Yuji Karman, who's on Jace Control. So let's see how they play out. Karlinski is on play, and he starts the game with Deathright Shaman, and Yuji Karman wants to counter that one with Milton Misstep, but Karlinski is prepared with Force of Will, so let's see how that works out. Okay,
That's very aggressive Force of Will, by the way.
It is, yeah.
It probably means that he doesn't have Underland. Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Delver deck doesn't actually play Delver, but it plays out in a similar way, like a Delver deck.
Yeah,
so we just call it Delver anyway.
It's a tempo deck, yeah, but it doesn't play Delver. But even Anton call it Bugger Delver. So
yeah.
So
it's actually not that tempo oriented, as we thought at the beginning. He has 2 JCs and 2 deck Fadens, so he can definitely go in the long game also.
Deck Fadens sees a lot of play in.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Sure.
Oh, here comes a very nice to kill the Trojan one. So let's see if he's able to draw a second land. And he did.
Lucky. How lucky?
Here comes Dark Confidant. Does he have a Force Level backup now? Probably not, because I think he would have forced the Fire and Ice.
Yeah, but he passed the turn anyway, so it's on Yuji Karman's side right now.
Doesn't look like the Karman has an answer for the Confidant, but I think he has to.
If he does not, that could be huge, right?
Yeah, I think he has Gash in his hand, so he might find it. Just hit go.
He has what in his hand?
2 Gashes.
2 Gashes, He didn't. The thing is, he wanted to cast a Raya Paramincer, and he already played land for this turn, so even if he draws like Lightning Bolt, he wouldn't be able to cast it.
I'm not sure the 1 token that you will get out of the cash after if you play it after the Fire Monster is worth the chance that you will draw into the balls, but you know.
Yeah.
Also, if he played a Gush previous turn, he could have just oh yeah, he actually can. Sorry, nothing.
What were you about to say?
That he could replay one of the lands and then play the second cache next turn, but
that was his second
he
turn,
already
yeah.
played the land.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. It was second turn.
And all of a sudden the Kalinski is in the driver's seat. Like the confidence is pretty huge. He also drew into Ancestral Recall.
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, there is an Ancestral Recall and a Force of Will in his hand. Of course, like, Ancestral Recall is not the card you want to pitch into the Force of Will, but it will allow you to draw into some other blue cards, probably.
Well, this... Is it... What? I think the Confidant is so much better than the Pyromancer. Like, I mean, I unchecked one that I just wouldn't trade it there, but... Also, not playing Ancestral in response to Gash is, you know, pretty weird because he might have drawn the Force of Will from the Gash, so... Either way, it's gonna resolve and put him in a pretty good spot here. Doesn't look like Karaman has much. It looks like a bunch of lands, Moxes, and another Gash which he can cast this turn. He did have the Force of Will, but the only other blue card was Gash, which was basically the only card that does anything in his hand. So that's why he probably didn't want to counter the Ancestral Recall, but he was punished by drawing another Gash. Here comes Demonic Tutor. What do you think he's gonna find?
The Demonic Tutor?
Maybe like a Snapcaster Mage to flashback
Yeah,
the
Ancestral Recall, yeah. I think so. That is always
Yeah,
a
it
good
looks like
play.
it.
Yeah. If you don't know what to play, this is always a good play, right?
And here's another Confidant, which we might see the Force of Will on Confidant now that we talked about previously.
Yeah.
Now I can get behind it. But
Here we go.
it's probably right, but still pretty bad for the
It is
for the
bad, but
girl,
like,
yeah.
what is he gonna do? Like, this is the best thing he
Nothing,
can
that's
do.
why Confidant is so good.
Yeah.
You just gotta kill it.
Exactly. Did Karlinski had the option to counter back? Oh no, he only has one card in hand, right?
Yeah.
No, he has several, but he did have the option of countering back. He decided not to. Maybe he wants to make sure his Ancestral Recall resolves?
I think that the fact that he finds Snapcaster means that he's gonna be in a really good spot next turn, and he just wants to make sure that his opponent won't resolve anything too good, like Ancestral of his own, or you know,
Oh, yeah,
Tinker or
maybe.
anything like that.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I think it's either way. Like, either you want to protect your Ancestral Recall, or you want to counter your opponent's Ancestral Recall. Because he's definitely casting Snapcaster into Ancestral next turn,
Yeah.
right?
Probably gonna see the Gush again.
Yep.
Like, he's probably gonna cast the Gush on his opponent's turn. So why wouldn't you just play it on your turn?
Yeah,
You know,
and
if you
get
hit
some more,
something that
yeah.
you wanna play, you can just play it.
Exactly, yeah, I agree.
Like,
Maybe he's gonna cast, well maybe he, no, I see no reason why not to cast him in the turn. So he's just gonna Fire Ice now, yeah. So basically cycle the Fire Ice, because the effect is like of very little meaning. And has almost no influence on the game. He do...
Wonder.
Wonder?
I think it's Wonder, yeah.
Actually, I thought for a moment that this is a Stroke of Genius, yeah, but it's Wonder. I was
I
like
think he
wondering
might have
what
wanted
Stroke...
to tap land for the Plunder because he has cash.
Yeah.
But I think there is Ancestral Recall on the top of his deck.
Well,
So
yeah, there is.
So assuming the Anton doesn't have another blue card to forcible than the Snapcaster, he might actually resolve it. That's only assuming that he won't find another blue card in his top 3 when he plays the Snapcaster and Flashback the Recall, but you know. The Recall was definitely one of his best cards to draw.
Yeah,
there,
definitely.
so
Yeah, I agree.
that's basically always.
Yeah.
And here comes the Ancestral Recall. Did resolve.
Wow.
I think I would have played a Snapcaster in response, trying to
Yeah.
find, you know.
Yeah, exactly. A blue card you can pitch into
Does he
your
even have
personal
the Snapcaster? What did he find with his demonic tutor then? I'm rather a bit confused. Do you know what is this card that he just played?
Oh yeah, this very Andrea. That's a 2 mana 1/1, and if you play any other spell of if you play spell of any other color than green, it gets +1/+1 counter.
Okay. Doesn't seem too strong to me, but it's probably fine.
Well,
Here comes the
it
chase.
used to be like a huge bomb on extended, like a huge bomb. Have you ever heard about the Turbo Turbulence? I think it was called the deck. They
No.
played like 16 lands, a Horn of Greed, which says whenever you cast a land, draw a card. Or whenever you play a land, draw a card. Whenever a player plays a land, draw a card. That player draws a card, of course. Then you play the Korean Griat, and then you play like Daisies,
Oh,
Gushes.
Korean Riot. Yeah, I know that
Yeah,
card. It
yeah.
was reprinted like
Yeah,
2 years ago or something.
yeah, yeah, something like that. So
It
basically,
actually saw some play in blue-green Delver and standards.
yeah. So how the deck worked was like you drew a bunch of cards for playing your lands. You had Korean Griat in play, and you know like chained Gushes and stuff like that.
Yeah, that
And
makes sense.
then the Griat was like awfully huge, and you just killed your opponent
So
with
it's
it.
like a verse Pyromancer basically.
Yeah, yeah. It's like old school Paramancer. Like it was printed in plain
Yeah.
shapes or something like so. Like I don't know, 10, 12 years ago.
Basically, Pyromancer does resilience to electricity, but first against spot removal. Stuff like that.
Maybe is Karman really on Jace control?
I think he plays free.
Yeah, but yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's basically a Gush deck that has free chases.
No,
We
we
can call
have
it.
no. The thing is, we have a wrong decklist because in
Oh,
usually
really?
Karman's decklist there is no Pyromancer and no Korean Griat, so I'm gonna fetch the right one.
Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, and now the chases is probably just gonna run away with this game. I assume that if it's gonna survive one more turn, the game is just gonna be over. He decides to kill the Korean, the Dryad instead of Pyromancer, which I'm not sure about because even though the Dryad is gonna be pretty big, you can always just bounce it with Chase. But the tokens are just gonna be annoying. I think I would just rather kill the Pyromancer, play Confidant, and then maybe bounce the Dryad next turn. Uh, he might be in danger to lose the Chase to the Dryad, but I don't know. Yeah, especially if he has two chump blockers, I think killing the Pyromancer would just be better. Either way, he's in a really good spot, so...
This is my hand.
Yeah, okay, okay. I played mainly to go fast.
Yeah. You pay 2 lakhs?
Yeah.
The guy on the left, we don't actually really know what's his name yet, because... Uh, Yuri Karman is actually someone else. Anyway, he thought for a while that his opponent is just conceding, you know, offering the hand, but he's actually just showing him the hand from the Dixion proof. So, alright, he's gonna trade, which makes sense. He don't really want to lose the chase to the Lightning Bolt, so I would probably just look at the trade shaman instead. So.
Okay, we are very sorry because it is my mistake, but I mistaken players UC Kaman and UC Lebeda. The one on our future match is UC Lebeda, so we are gonna correct it for you as soon as possible.
Yeah, and he's just playing Gush.
Yep, and he's playing Gush. Gush Tempo?
Yeah, you can call it like whatever you want.
Okay.
Like Rack Gush, for example. He actually plays black also. I don't know, four color Gush.
Bounce.
One.
Does he play any Treasure Cruise?
No, but he plays one Tolerant, the Sky Summoner. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I know. It's
yeah,
4 mana 2/2, and it
yeah.
pays 2/2s when you cast this install the sorcerer spell, right?
Yep.
How can he not play Treasure Cruise in deck like this, bro?
I mean, it's probably the same thing that we talked about
Oh, yeah,
before.
yeah. Like he had the deck, he just took it and
Yeah. I think he's gonna play Treasure Cruise on this next event with
yeah.
his deck.
Because look at his graveyard, it's filled with,
Yeah.
stuff.
The Treasure Cruise will be just ancestral recall at this
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
Looks like a will. So if it
Will,
resolves, it's just gonna be a game.
yeah, Will is gonna be like huge
Also
here.
well.
First of all, but oh, he
Alright, so it's
doesn't
not
have
gonna
a
resolve.
backup. Oh, but the cards on the side are removed, or are they in his graveyard too?
I think they are in his graveyard. I don't really see why would they be removed. I think the Gush is removed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Anton is pretty good shape just because he has active chase for had active chase for several turns, but he might still lose this game actually.
I mean, the game is still even, I think. Like, it maybe favors an Anton a little bit because he has the chase.
I think the reason might be because he's not brainstorming, but just fate sealing, which doesn't accomplish too much.
Yeah.
So
Well, maybe he doesn't want his Jace to die because if he brainstorms and usually attacks with all of his creatures Jace, then you can trade Pyromancer with the Shaman if you want to, and the 2 tokens kill Jace.
yeah, I know, but like
Yeah, of
if
course.
your first three cards on your top doesn't do anything, you're probably gonna lose anyway.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, might his plan be? I agree
Yeah.
with you that brainstorming is better. I mean, like we've talked about it, brainstorm is a restricted card in Vintage, and it is restricted for a reason. And card that allows you to brainstorm every single turn, you should probably use it.
Yeah. For you people at home, if you're not sure what to do with Jade, just
Just as
brainstorm.
brainstorm, yeah.
It's almost never gonna be bad. Like even if they kill it, you will always at least get a card out of it. If you face heal and they kill it, that's just a 2-for-1.
I will play something.
Also, if you brainstorm on his next turn, he's way more likely to lose his chase on the
On the token, yeah.
on the next turn of Yiri.
Well, he's probably gonna lose his Jace now. Oh, does he have a lightning bolt in hand? In graveyard? I think so, right? Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
he
Fire
has a
Ice. That's
fire.
even better, yeah. That's even better.
I think he can kill both. Did he block with the
Do
shaman?
something.
Also, why is
Yeah.
the shaman tapped?
So I must.
I'm a little confused.
Me too. I'm not sure.
You cannot target Jace.
Okay, okay. So I target you. And can I split the damage, like one to him? No, I just
You have
get
to
all,
redirect
all the damage.
all or nothing.
Okay, everything into him, and I make.
Yeah, so people were just arguing whether he can deal
Yeah.
one to Anton and one to Jace. You actually can't.
What? How come you can't?
Well, because if you want to kill Planeswalker with a burn spell, you have to target your opponent
Oh, yeah,
and then
that's true.
redirect it.
Yeah, and then redirect it,
And
yeah.
it's the same target, so you can 1-1.
Yeah, yeah. So Arden is just gonna like Desperate Wasteland. Yushi's Underground Sea, but Yushi still has Skaldun Turn in place, so he can get like another black mana if he wants to, because he already has the black marks. So that Wasteland doesn't really accomplish much, but it's like it's 6 lands in play, you don't really need another one, and Anton has only a Mox in his hand, so he's fairly behind in this game.
Yeah. And Anton had Chase in play for like 3 or 4 turns.
Yeah, just, but because he didn't brainstorm, like
Yeah.
the Jace is not gonna be like Fate Healing is okay, you know, to look at your top, the
It's
top
pretty
card of
bad.
yeah, but it's mainly there because you wanna keep the Jace alive, you know, like
Yeah.
so you just do it once and then you just keep
Yeah, the turn you
brainstorming.
play it, you might want to fate heal sometimes, so you don't lose it to lightning bolt.
Yeah.
But like any other turn after that, you should probably just brainstorm.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless you're like really sure that you're gonna win and you just wanna run away with the game and kill them with a chase.
Yeah.
You should almost always just brainstorm. So Yuji's deck is pretty similar to what Suzy was playing.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have trajectories basically.
Yeah.
He has like Quarian Drought instead. And like if you compare Quarian Drought to draw 3, it's just ridiculously
Of
bad.
course. Like to be honest, I don't really see a point why not to play Crusher Crease in any blue deck in Vintage. Like if you play blue tempo deck, you should play like Treasure
Or
Grease.
any deck.
Or any deck, yeah, you should play Treasure Grease. Any blue deck, you should definitely play. I see why don't like Tomáš Kuchta doesn't have it in his stack, that's for sure. But
Yeah.
if you play a blue deck with fetch lands and a lot of spells, you should definitely play Treasure Grease. It's just another ancestral recall. But UC is on a three life only.
Okay.
So
So you might
the
lose.
shaman, yeah, the shaman could actually like get away with the game, but I imagine he's gonna find an answer to it, right?
He actually needs to find it now because he's gonna shoot and shoot.
Yeah, sure.
The Snapcaster might still save him because he can.
There's still a bolt in his grave. Right?
No, it's not. But if he removes with a shaman, he can Snapcaster in response to remove
yeah.
the card that he's trying to
But
remove.
he just drew a bolt from his hand, so from his library, sorry, rather. So
It's probably a pretty good draw, right?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think so.
Also, why didn't he kill it before? Oh, he's just killing him.
Oh, he's forcing. So is Anton actually gonna get away with the game because of the shaman? Because UT only has 2 lands in hand, right?
Yeah, he's probably just gonna win.
Yeah, that's
Jesus,
sick.
insane.
Yeah, that's
That's the
sick.
game.
And that's the game. Anton leads 1-0. Wow, pretty interesting game, or rather very interesting finish.
That's right, going all the way.
Well, good for Anton.
Yeah, I think he was the one who should have won the game. He just kind of screwed up with the chase and then
Not like
won
it's
anyway. But
Yeah.
I think he was the one who should have win this game.
Well, he did. So
Yeah.
we'll go with round 3.
It was much closer than I expected.
With that, is going to sideboard.
Like almost 2 games, definitely.
I am pretty much aware of that.
Which one is the which one?
Ed.
Okay. This one. So from the Gash player, he has 2 Grim Lava Monsters, 1 Scavenging Ooze, 1 Lightning Bolt, 1 Pyroblast, 2 Red Elemental Blast. All pretty good in this matchup. He actually has a lot for the creature mirror.
Well, Anton actually doesn't have much. There's like one spell snare which he can roll in CT, so the Korean Dryad, but and Korean Dryad can be actually pretty
And he also has
decent in this
Snapcasters and
matchup.
Pyromancers, so it's
Yeah.
probably
So
pretty good.
he has one spell snare, one Dark Blast, which is obviously very good against CT's deck. But other than that, there is not much. Like all his sideboard contains 1 Mountain, 1 spell snare, one Dark Blast, 4 Ingot Chewers, 1 Ancient Grudge, 2
Well,
Yggdrasil
you,
Jailers,
you have
3
you had
Surgical
time after the
Extractions,
game,
1
right?
Fitting Heal, and 1 Nature's Claim. So all he can really board in is the Dark Blast and Spell Slam, which is not
Or
much.
maybe even an Ancient Grudge because he plays actually all 5 Moxes.
Okay, so maybe a 1 Ancient Grudge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, still, that's like 3 cards. That's like not, the best
Yeah,
sideboard
but the
ever.
thing is that most of these cards that he plays in the main deck are fine this matchup.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he doesn't only
I
need
feel
to.
like Karlinski is very well set for the creature mirror, definitely.
Yeah.
Because he has like abrupt decays, jaces, and does he play
There were times when
treasure
this
cruise?
didn't.
No, he does
Doesn't
not.
look like it.
No.
So Zuzi is probably gonna win this tournament very
Because he
easily.
plays because
Because he's the only one with
with
treasure cruises.
yeah. And also Anton does play two copies of Dark Faden, but he doesn't play any treasure cruise, which seems like because it at least to me it seemed like the interaction between Dark Faden's first ability and treasure cruise, like where Dark Faden is able to fill out your graveyard really quick with his first ability. It's like awesome. Like you
Yeah.
get
Yeah, the deck fate doesn't so play even before treasure cruise, but now it's just insanely
yeah
better.
exactly.
Also, if you play Duck Faden, you can get away with playing the more clunky cards that are better in certain situations, but
Yeah.
worse in other, because you can just discard them if you don't want
Yeah,
them.
exactly. And then use them as a fuel for your treasure cruise. By the way, Peter, what do you think? Are they gonna restrict treasure cruise in
For
vintage?
sure.
Yeah. It's like if Ancestral Recur is restricted, and Brainstorm is restricted, and
Ponder.
Ponder, there is no reason for treasure cruise not to be, right? Or can you think of any? Like,
No.
I mean, the upside that you have to fill your graveyard with 7 cards, and let's say your Yawgmoth, you can't play Yawgmoth spell, and your Snapcasters are getting slightly worse.
I mean, Ponder is just looking ridiculous if you compare it to treasure cruise,
Yeah, exactly.
and Ponder is restricted, so I don't think it's close.
Yeah.
When I was playing GP New York, I was playing King's Leagues and then at home. Yeah, whenever I played Vintage,
By the way, we have 111 watchers of our stream, which is pretty awesome for a vintage. So we hope you all enjoy the matches, and let's jump right into the third game.
Yeah, we actually had over 300 watchers yesterday at one point,
Yeah, but
which
it
is
was
pretty
good.
good.
Yeah, it is pretty good. We definitely thank you for your support, and we appreciate it a lot. But it's like Legacy, right? Legacy is a way more popular format
Yeah.
than Vintages, and I mean, like having 111, 110 now. We are sorry to lose you, 111th guy, but it's pretty decent, I
Pretty
think.
solid, yeah.
hear them.
I mean, I don't mind watching vintage once upon a time, you know.
Once a while, yeah, definitely.
I know.
Probably, wouldn't like it if it was like a regular format, but once in a while, it's actually pretty refreshing to see those insanely powerful cards crashing against each
Yeah,
other.
that's because like
no action.
even though this might sound weird, but I don't really think Vintage is the most skill-intensive format because there are cards like Black Lotus and Ancestral Recall. So even though if you play very bad and you draw like Ancestral and all the good cards, you are. So I would say the most skill-intensive format is Legacy. It's like the most.
Yeah, it depends on the deck that you're playing, but overall, I agree.
Overall, yeah.
Like, just the deck with 4 brainstorms and 4 ponder, it's gotta be insanely hard to play, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like 9 on 10 fetch lands, right?
And if you don't think so, you should probably work on your game a little bit, because it's really hard to play those decks correctly. What do you think about Dicture Time versus Treasure Cruise? I actually think Dicture Time is better. But people are
Like
just
in Vintage?
undervaluing the card.
Like in Vintage or overall?
In Vintage, because you usually have enough mana at the point that you cast either Treasure Cruise or Dicture Time. You don't really care about paying one extra more, and choosing out of 2 cards out of 7 is way more powerful than
But
drawing just
the
3.
thing is, I think the power of Treasure Cruise is because you can cast it on like for 1 mana at your turn, and then still be able to play some of your spells, like Snapcaster into something. And if you spend 2 blue at your turn on a dig through time,
I think your time is instant. I mean, I can see Treasure Cruise being better in a deck with Dex Faden because you can get rid of the bad cards, but in a deck without it, the Dig Through Time is probably just gonna be better. It's basically double damage tutor, right?
basically, like from the top of your 7 though, like
Yeah, but you're usually gonna be able to find 2 very good cards.
yeah, I agree. But I definitely think you can like, play both, and I think there are going to be decks which will want to play the Treasure Cruise, like a heavy tempo deck where the mana will actually
Yeah.
matter, and there are going to be decks like the Oath deck where the dig through time is like significantly better.
Tap it again.
For example, in this slower Gash deck, I think the Dig Through Time is better than the
Oh yeah,
Treasure
yeah,
Cruise.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
The one mana doesn't actually really matter at the point that you're casting the card, so and the effect is stronger, so
But I mean, I can definitely imagine deck where the cruise is going to be way better, like a heavy tempo deck where the 1 mana is going to matter a lot.
yeah.
Like
If you can
definitely
reliably cast the Treasure Cruise for 1 mana
Yeah.
very early, when you're still hungry for the mana, then the Cruise is better.
Yeah, exactly. Like we are talking about the treasure cruise being ancestral recall, not like casting it for 3 mana, something like that.
Yeah. Also, if you
Then-
care about the raw cards, either you need the lands or you have a way to, you know, like brainstorm the lands away or like them.
Yeah.
Then the Cruise can be better. But there are definitely decks that should play Dig Through Time over Cruise, but they doesn't. So.
Yeah. Well, I think people would get to the conclusion that the deck is like very good very quickly because like everybody knows that ancestral recall is good and treasure cruise is
Yeah, it's like Dig Through
ancestral.
Time is a new effect, so
Yeah,
people
exactly.
don't
So-
know how to evaluate it yet.
Exactly. So we actually see it even in like modern and legacy, and legacy, yeah, where some of the people chose not to play the free time, and I think like their decks were significantly like worse, right?
Yeah. I mean, compare the Dig Through Time effect to Fact or Fiction. Like, it's probably better. You choose 2 out of 7.
It's definitely better because
Yeah.
you don't give your opponent even a choice, to influence your
Yeah,
game
yeah.
even a little bit, and you don't give him the information, so it's definitely better.
And like the Fact or Fiction effect is pretty close to drawing free.
Yeah.
So if you look at it this way, the Dig Through Time is way better than drawing free.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely drawing 3 for 4 mana. The fact on fiction, yeah, it was like one of my favorite cards back then. Like,
Yeah.
it was such a sweet card to play with in the
Also,
standard.
very skill intensive. It leads to pretty fun games.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
You mean like you could love your opponent into your face, like when he screwed up with the factor of fiction?
Yeah. For example, you make 2 piles with 4 good cards and a narrative card, and your opponent thinks that you really need it, and you have
Yeah.
a second copy in your hand,
And
so
then
they
you
just
rat.
give you 4 cards,
Yeah.
and then you rat and you just can lose.
Yeah.
The Mad decks lost to 5 Ancestral Recall that deck.
Yeah. Actually, Mud's deck was defeated by Zusi, who plays actually only 4 ancestral because he plays 3 treasure cruises and one
Yeah,
ancestral.
yeah. And 3 Snapcasters, so we actually play 7.
7, yeah. That's 6.
So far this game, players are basically just trading resources, trying to resolve something, get a little bit of advantage here and there.
Yeah.
Nothing really too great happening.
And it's, we almost permanently talk about getting a little advantage here and there. And like treasure cruise is not a little advantage, it's a huge downstream
Yeah.
advantage.
For example,
here.
playing this time block here to just explore and deal 1 damage
Yeah.
is probably not worth it. Like, it might seem better than not doing anything, but the game is gonna go for a while, and the time lock is gonna be good eventually. Like, you're gonna stick a Jace or have a creature in
Yeah,
play.
it's gonna be way better as long as the
Yeah.
when the game is like long enough, your time works are probably gonna be better. because you will develop your board state and stuff like that.
It's not like the time walk is gonna disappear from your hand.
Yeah,
You will
exactly.
still have it. So like you can play it, in like 3 or 4 turns.
Yeah, it's very
You're not forced to play it now unless you have to discard. So
it's very important to evaluate the situation in you're in, and right now
so is that Kill Mage?
yeah, it's a Guild Mage. Right now,
Sweet.
yeah,
How many does he
is not
play?
is not under any amount of pressure, and the game is probably going to go like for a long time. So the time walk is going to be better and better.
He plays one.
He plays
But
one, but
I think
it's sweet with time walk, right? Because it does copy time walk and ancestrals and stuff like that, right?
yeah, I think it's for blue and 2 you copy instant, and for red and 2 you copy sorcery.
yeah, exactly.
Shikari is actually pretty strong.
It is, yeah. That was a combo and extended
Yeah,
with this
I know,
card.
but it was my first combo deck ever actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and we welcome back our 111th guy. We don't know where
Yeah,
have you
welcome
been.
back, dude.
We are glad to see again because we are constantly getting like 111 watchers, but like a couple of minutes ago, one guy left and there was only 110. Now he came back, so welcome back.
Well, maybe it's someone else.
Maybe, but anyway, welcome. It's probably somebody else.
Yeah.
So is that Guild Mage? Like, is that Guild Mage could be really good. Does it copy?
They're just fighting over it, I think.
Yeah. Does it copy only your spells or your opponent's spells as well, if you want to? Only yours, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would just not lose any counter war, right?
Yeah.
Like if they counter, you just copy their counter.
Yeah, but it still costs 3 mana, right?
Yeah, sure, but
Yeah, it would be insanely good. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, first of all, it will still get you because it only copies the cards that cost 3 or less, I think.
Yeah.
Or 2 or less, maybe even.
Yeah, 2 or less. Yeah, 2 or less.
But yeah, if this Guild Mage goes unchecked, any like Ponder, Brainstorm, anything like that, it's gonna be huge.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you imagine copying a Historical?
I can, and I want to see it, but let's see if.
4 mana, draw 6.
Yeah.
Not bad. Like, I think it was a pretty good card, and it
was
draws
like
on a 4 for 5.
Yeah. It was not a good card in Vintage, right? So,
Sure.
I mean, like, this is a completely different format, so. But it is true, though.
Do you
like,
think drawing 6 for 4 would be playable in Vintage? Probably, right? Probably, yeah. It's basically a better game if you resolve it.
the thing is, like, 6 cards is so many cards. It's like such a huge amount that it doesn't really matter if it costs 5 or 4.
It would be better than Jace, I think. Drawing 6 for 4.
Yeah.
How are you gonna lose? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, like, but because the 6 is like such a huge amount, like,
Yeah.
you are probably gonna find something in those 3.
Alright, so the Guild Mage survives, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna provide him with any advantage yet.
In
And here comes the Abra BK.
There's Abra
And I
BK.
think the only card he has left is Elemental Blast,
Yeah.
which doesn't do much against Abra BK, so.
Yeah. Well, no card doesn't really do much against Abrupt Decay in Vintage, but
Museum
mean,
skins.
okay, Museum skins. You broke the format, Peter. Go ahead.
Or
But-
Surveys.
Yeah, there is a lot of cards that can play around Abrupt Decays, but none of them see
Or there
play
is
in
a
Vintage.
Jace, at
What?
least. Jace does.
Like Chase gets around Abrupt Decay because
Yeah.
he's like 4 mana casting.
Yeah.
Card. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking
Yeah,
about
I
saving
know.
that creature.
Okay,
Okay, yeah. So guys, for those of you who don't know, Abrupt Decay cannot kill Jace the Mind Sculptor, and that's the power of the card. That's why it sees so many play, because that is the main reason.
Yeah.
Right, Peter? Cool.
I'm glad that we agree.
Yeah, I totally agree. So,
He's a Snapcaster Mage.
I hope we get paid for this.
Which is gonna be countered by this Red Elemental Blast.
Yeah.
But, he'll have to cast something into Red Elemental Blast eventually anyway, so the Snapcaster is actually a fine draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just cycling. It might force him to play a Snapcaster though. Because if he gets counter now, he can still have a forcible up.
Yeah.
So it actually makes sense.
And there's
Yeah.
a red elemental blast.
He might have wanted to wait for him to hit one more land drop, because then he could force the Resiliental Blast and then flashback something with Snapcaster.
Yeah, that's true.
Now he basically has no reason to fight over it, because the 2-1 is really worth the card in a vintage. Yeah, and he lets it resolve.
No.
Action. Did you try anything?
Not sure. But it was not land though.
I think he has 2 bolts.
2 bolts and a query on Drea.
I don't think he has any lands, so he has 4 non-lands.
Yep.
Either way, while bolts are needed in this matchup so that you randomly don't lose the Confidant or whatever, they're not very good in stopping, like the big spells, like
Yeah.
card drawing spells, tutors and stuff. So
Yeah, 1 mana spells are not very great
Whoa.
in top decking.
Taran? Jesus. That's definitely gonna counter.
Yeah. Taran is huge.
I mean, the card wasn't even good in standard, but that was mainly because of the bonfire.
Yeah, but it's good in
Yeah,
vintage.
yeah, that's
definitely.
definitely good in something else.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you see you could manage to stick this Tarant around, it would close the game, like, in 2 or 3 turns.
Yeah, it would be just, yeah.
Very quick.
I actually like his deck, it's kinda cool, like, is it Guildmage, Taran?
Mhm.
You can definitely see that he just likes those cards, and he plays them because because he likes them, and he
Mhm.
doesn't really care whether they are
Good or
whether
not.
they are better options or not.
Mhm.
Upkeep baseline. Okay, sure.
Tarant is sweet though.
Wasteland,
I mean, like-
Wasteland's pretty big against Gash, by the way.
Yeah.
I just
That's
realized
true.
that.
Yeah.
He has a Gash there.
He's hard casting, right?
Um,
Yeah.
Stop teasing me.
Okay.
Is he bolding? What?
Like the hat?
I mean, he doesn't have any other red source, which is probably the reason why he does that, but like
But
putting
that's-
it down to like 8 doesn't really accomplish anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And he just drew another red source, and he might lose the game because he
But
won't
he,
have the
he has
he won't have
another,
the bolt.
yeah, he has another bolt in hand, but it was definitely better to keep up the second bolt too, I think. Even though, like, if he has another bolt in, oh,
Yeah, he-
chase. Oh, there's
Mana
another
drain,
drain.
yeah.
If he has another bolt, it might be actually fine to play the first one, because in case you don't draw another red line, you just stuck with the cards you can't cast.
Yeah, but like putting him down to 8 from 11 doesn't accomplish anything, like anything. So,
Um,
and here's the Yakmos build, which is probably gonna win him the game.
Yeah, probably.
The card is just so ridiculous.
Yes, Peter, it is.
I mean, it might be even better in Ancestral Recall now that I see it in action. It's just,
No, the thing is, Ancestral Decor is good always.
yeah, I
but,
get it, but
But Yagmoth really has to, like, have a full graveyard to be good.
one
Like,
will is good. It's just, it's insane.
yeah.
Why is he going so slowly? I would just this,
Spam
this,
everything,
this,
yeah.
this, make him infinite tokens. Your move.
Yeah, mischief, yeah.
And you probably want to make sure that you do it well.
Yeah, exactly.
Do everything
So you,
correctly.
you play Pyromancer and a lot of other spells, right? You don't play Paladin.
Yeah, because Torrent costs 2 more, and it basically accomplishes the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
How does the cash work with Egmos Field? Does it work the way we wanted to?
No.
Can you bounce the land?
No, you cannot.
Okay. Because that would be insane.
Although, yeah, it actually does through. I think because
You can just play the cards. It's not like they get a flashback, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yagmoth says, like, play the cards as they were in your hand, so you probably.
Oh, so you can.
Yeah, so you can. Yeah. It doesn't work with the Snapcaster, yeah.
So he's probably just gonna go completely off now.
Yeah.
It also produces one land because he can replay the land that he bounces.
He already played the land.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. He played
The
the.
spelling turn.
No, he played the Volcanic Island, yeah, of his Jaguars. Oh, no, I'm not sure if.
He might have returned with the Yagmoth spell, the fetch land. I think he fetched into Volcanic Island and then returned the fetch land with the...
No, he didn't do that. I'm not sure if he has another Volcanic in his deck. I don't really know. Let's check yet. How many Volcanics does he have? But I think that was the better play, like to fetch for your...
Yeah, he plays two Volcanics.
To fetch for your Volcanic and then get back the...
Either way, he just, you know, he has a time ball and stuff.
Yeah, he's so winning. Like, there's no way Anton is gonna get back into this game.
And this is just one card.
Anton sees it too, and
Like the game was,
he's had enough.
the game was completely even, and then he just drew one of his cards, and the game was just over at the spot.
Yeah, that's
So,
vintage. So anyway, the players are tied, and they're gonna go to game 3, where Anton is going to be on a play. So let's see how this will work out for him.
yeah, I don't really think that being on the play is that huge in this matchup because both of the players has so many answers to the opposing cards that the game is probably gonna go, you know, pretty long to be so in this game. They're just gonna trade resources.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you should choose to be on a draw, but like being on the play isn't that big as it is in other matchups. For example, like Delver against Combo.
I think the judge would have picked that up.
We haven't seen like the real old school combo yet, right? We probably won't because there is no in top 4, but I mean like the combo...
We saw a dredge deck.
Yeah, but I mean like the combo with Windfalls and
I don't think there was any.
That's a shame. I like these kind of decks.
Yeah, just people generally don't like to play those type of decks, I think.
Yeah.
So you mana drain,
Sounds
whatever.
like Burger Delver.
You can change it to Burger if you want.
If I played that right shaman, mana drain.
Not really, but
Doesn't have to be
speaking of
changed.
burgers, I'd love to have some tasty burger right now.
Speaking of burgers, I'm actually really hungry.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
I have
Like,
enough
imagine
burn
the tasty burger with
burn
onions
it.
and all
Yeah.
that stuff beside. Yeah, that's really.
Would
How
have
about you guys?
what
Are
you
you
can
hungry?
eat,
You can join us for a burger if you want to.
nothing.
In Prague.
Was
Yeah.
mana drain enough?
Send us a burger.
Yeah, send us a burger, please. No Delver,
But the
just a
shaman,
burger.
Yeah.
I would have very much time to solve the shaman. So, but the Jace that doesn't give me time. So
yeah,
I have to
sure.
mana drain. But like if it was something
No, I
like
was,
average,
I was just
I think, yeah,
thinking
it's
if
the
I
There's a Suzy.
survived the
Blue
wolf
Delver,
hunt, you
the
got to mana
aggro
drain
tempo
like you
deck
want
of
mana.
PC
And you had
Laveda.
like
I don't know
4
what is the fourth guy playing.
Okay, I'm gonna check that.
the world turn. If you survive the world turn,
Yeah. If you just draw will and have not don't have 4 mana.
I do. I
The
would
other
have
players
played the
are
world,
arguing
but it
about
wouldn't have,
something.
wouldn't have been so good. You
You know, maybe some
just
mistake
like the
or
pyromancer,
there
maybe
was
some
some
dash.
misunderstanding.
Maybe if it, no, pyromancer dash is good. I keep it. Never changing.
Okay, so the last deck is actually the Tezzeret Control, sorry, the Jace Control we had here at first. We have mistaken that deck for usually Lebeda's deck. So in the top 4 there are 3 Delvers, I'm sorry, 2 Delvers, or rather 2 aggro decks, one usually Lebeda, one Gush deck, which is like basically aggro deck 2, and then one Jace Control. It's back to basics, for your information.
That's sweet. I want to see it in the final.
Yeah. Well, and it also looks like because Easy Kaman plays it, and he's up against Jan Suskac with the Blue Red Delver, and it seems like he's gonna win because he is just weeping around that he doesn't have anything. And
Yeah. I would assume that
He
matchup would be
complains
pretty
a
good
lot.
for Suzy because Blue Red, you know, isn't particularly weak to back to basics.
Yeah, that's right.
When you go
But
to a tournament, then
doesn't
you have
look
to
to be the
expect
case.
like, to play well, or
Yeah.
you have to try at least.
That's true.
But how far do you live?
Mm. Fine. 45 minutes.
It's fine.
Good luck.
So players enjoying their time on camera for a long time. By the way, isn't it forbidden to play with the playmates on our future table? I think so, right? There is a sign, do not play with playmates on our future table.
Yeah,
Right in
I
front
mean,
of the
I'm
future
like whatever.
table. Yeah, sure, I don't really mind too, but...
If you wanna go Zelda, then go ahead.
Yeah,
But I don't really care.
I'll go there in like in the middle of the game where the
Yeah,
the
actually
board
like the
sleeve,
playmates more than the.
yeah, where the board sleeve will be very very complicated, and I will actually ask them to remove the
Yeah, let's do
playmat.
that. I like that. I like
Yeah.
it. I like it a lot.
So yeah, let's give the players a
Yeah,
little bit of
let's wait
pain.
for him until he plays Young Biomancer.
Yeah, yeah,
and
and
do
like
it.
like a really huge amount of tokens, and then just let's ask him very politely if he could remove his playmat because there are no playmats allowed on our feature table.
Yeah. Or when he resolves the Egmos spell.
Yep.
That would be a great time too.
Need to drain fast.
Super.
Thank you.
You double Shaman on the place, you know. Pretty reasonable start. But as you can see, the Shaman doesn't actually like do all that much. That's why I don't like the card
Yeah,
too much.
Too much, yeah.
I mean, it's definitely better now than it was before the treasure cruise, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
And the
The
thing
card
is,
just doesn't do very much for you.
It doesn't really restrict Pressure Cruise that much because they that play Pressure Cruise will fill that their graveyard
So fast.
so insanely fast anyway. So you would get a chance to remove like 2 maybe 3 cards.
Yeah, imagine that he had like two
Delvers.
draw spells instead of the
Shaman?
Detroit Shaman.
2 Delvers.
Like two draw spells, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, two preordains for example.
Yeah.
I think it would be much better. Like he has just
Yeah, well
just
now,
a
now,
2/1/2
yeah, now
that
he's
are threatening.
pressuring for, yeah, exactly.
That are threatening to deal 2 damage, but that's not even that scary.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it won him the first game, so you know.
But it was a very close game, we have to say, right?
Yeah.
Easy pose the shaman away.
I mean, if you don't kill Shaman, and it's gonna lay for like 5 turns. You're not really behind. If you don't kill the Pyromancer,
Yeah.
Delver, or Dark Confidant for 5 turns, you're just
Really
dead.
bad, yeah, exactly, yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, like the Tide Shaman is definitely weaker than any of those creatures you just named. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think like that even something like the Stormforge Mystic might be better than Shaman. Is the Skull Clamp legal in Vintage? You gotta be, right?
In Vintage, no man. Yeah, it is
Skull
legal.
Clamp gotta be legal.
Everything is legal in Vintage except the anti-card. But I think it's not even restricted. The game is not very good. I think, or maybe.
You can like play. You can play like two Stormforge Mystics, find 2 Skull Clamps, and then draw 4. Draw 8.
No, that's a
Or
sick plan of a sick
or
man.
you can Skull Clamp the Butcher Skull token and then bounce the Butcher Skull and draw 2, and just go up.
Yeah.
That's kind of speed.
Or you can play something like better than Stanford Mystic in Vintage.
So 1/2 that puts 4 for life in play is better than 1/2 that doesn't do anything, which we see in play right now. So
Yeah, I probably don't have the strength anymore to argue with you about things like this because the thing is we both know this is like a very big nonsense, but I'm not gonna argue about something that doesn't make any sense.
I just want to find a Skull Clamp with Stormforge Mystic. That's all I want to do.
If you wanna play Skull Clamp, play kobolds, right? Like those are the 0 mana creatures with 0/1 creatures, and like in this deck, Skull Clamp definitely shines. But
Yep.
Can you imagine Skull Clamp with Young Pyromancer?
yeah, I can.
That,
Why,
that isn't so bad.
why
Like,
would you kill your tokens when you have like already 4 ancestral recalls plus 3 stuff
I
in your
never
in
have
your deck?
enough cards.
You can
I just want more.
you can just kill your opponent with it.
I
With
just
the
want more
token.
cards.
You just want more cards.
Yeah. and then make more tokens, and then draw even more cards.
And then just like kill your opponent with one huge swing. For
Well, I will just
27.
throw the cards at his face and kill him with that.
Okay. Maybe you would deck yourself before that.
Can I just okay, go.
Alright, we are getting to the point where the Trichomon basically turns into sulfuric vortex.
Basically,
And the thing is that the shaman is so bad that no one really wants to kill it. So it actually, you know, does something. Here comes the criminal monster that we talked about, which is gonna be pretty good at killing the Trichomon, assuming it's gonna live.
yeah. I'm just gonna find out how is the
Second match going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Season.
By the way, guys, what do you think about Stoneford's mistake in this deck, like with Young Pyromancer? Pitching out the Skull Clamp. I think it's pretty sweet, actually. You can also sacrifice like a Snapcaster Mage to it. Smacha, what do you think about Stoneford's mistake in Vintage? Skull Clamp, Young Pyromancer. He just ran away. He was too scared. Smacha, Smacha just went to the toilet, and I asked him a question in English, and he was just so scared that he ran away.
So guys, we have a update for you from the second match. UC Kaman actually defeated Jan Tuskac 2-1. So we are gonna see a sweet mono blue, oh not mono blue, but sweet Jace control deck with back to basics in the final.
I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be great against either one of those decks.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Alright, here's the Direct Blast on Pyromancer, which is gonna be pretty good here.
Yeah.
By the way, Direct Blast is another reason to play Treasure Cruise, right?
Yeah.
Like more and more we see the games play out. The Treasure Cruise is just, you know, an auto include.
Yeah, well, let's like agree on like it's an insane card and
Yeah.
it's an insane mistake not to play it, and let's not
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about it anymore.
Okay,
because
okay, I agree.
we could spend the whole night talking about how Treasure Cruise, how
insane.
yeah, how insane Treasure Cruise is and Vintage, but let's just not do that. I mean, like we can do some other things with our lives than talking about Treasure
Yeah.
Cruise. But yeah, for the last time, if you play the blue deck, play Treasure Cruise.
That's the picture that you would draw.
Okay, so we're just joking with Andrzej Stransky around here. By the way, he managed
With
not
that-
to make a top 8 again. So yeah, but he's definitely on the pro magic plan.
We are trying to get him into the
get
boot,
him
but
into the
he,
booth, but he's scared
yeah.
because he doesn't speak
His
very
English
good
is, yeah,
very
his
very good
English is
English.
completely horrendous.
So he doesn't want you guys to know
He
because he
doesn't
likes
want to embarrass himself.
Yeah, he doesn't want to embarrass himself. He wants to look good.
It actually sucks for me that he made it top 8 because He was supposed to be my roommate in university, but
Like you mean to pay it in the Pro Tour?
yeah, but then he had to pay the pro tour, so he just,
Yeah,
dropped from school.
and he tried, he dropped out of school, and his plan is to be a full-time professional Magic player. But he was, I think, 1-4 on Friday, like
3-5 for Saturday.
3-5 for Saturday, something like that. So go ahead, Andre.
And he was pretty
Keep it
lucky
up.
in the games that he won.
So you say
Like the opponents won against 3 or something.
full-time professional Magic player. It's always good to drop out of your university for, being like 44th on a vintage tournament in Prague, stuff like that.
Yeah, when there's only 35 players playing.
Sorry, I meant to say.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
So, Andrei Sravsky made it top 8, and then we could follow up.
Anyway, the game is pretty grindy. Like we are again at the point that the player is just trading resources, and one of them is trying to resolve one big spell that's gonna give him the advantage,
Yeah.
and snowball into win. And Scavenging Ooze is one of those big cards because it's gonna trump the Detroit Shaman very easily,
Yeah.
and it's gonna provide a huge threat that's gonna kill Anton very quickly. So it also can be lightning bolted, which is actually really relevant,
Yeah.
assuming he doesn't draw it immediately.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh crap, we just reached 122 viewers. We are so grateful to you guys. Thank you for your support. We hope you enjoyed the match. Even though it's very grindy match about which concerns a lot of details, and if you scrub these details, you're probably gonna lose the match. So
No, Anton just drew Darker Finance, so
Oh, did he?
if,
Oh, okay.
if he
I didn't
doesn't
check
have an
that.
answer for that, that can just run away with the game.
Yeah, pretty,
Basically
pretty,
like a first version of Chase,
yeah.
but it's still a Chase, so
Well,
kind of.
it usually has the convention ooze, which could get as big as
I think Anton has a pretty healthy life level, and I don't think the Ooze is
Yeah,
gonna kill him before
I-
the advantage from Darker Finance is gonna,
No, that's true. Anton is at 17 and 16 now, and he's on 7.
Why did he move his graveyard? Is that like
Cheat.
Yakmusville?
Don't cheat.
Cheat? Does it have?
Just cheating, yeah.
Okay.
It's
Alright, so
okay.
he's like, this is my hand from now on.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, like, if you're falling behind, it's always nice to get some extra value from your graveyard.
Yeah. Get some extra value from your graveyard.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so good.
Yeah, Peter is amused by my childish jokes.
I mean, you just put it so nicely. So get some extra value. Like,
From your
it's not
graveyard.
cheating. It's just getting extra value.
Yeah, exactly. Like, calm down, man. Don't call the judge now.
Now Yoshi is getting some extra value out of his ancestral recall.
That's good too. Like, some people have graveyard, some people have, ancestral recall.
Yeah, some people have to cheat. Some people just play flashback ancestral recall,
Yeah,
and they're
exactly.
good to go. And he did find an answer to Dark Infinite in the recall, as expected. So now the game is not close anymore, basically.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Once again, he just needs to rip Ancestral or he's dead. And he plays only one, so here's the Ancestral. He just actually drew it.
He did it, yeah. That's pretty decent. Okay, you have ancestral me too. So
Jesus.
he can't fall
Guys.
he can't fall behind, right? And does it resolve? That is the question though. Like, because usually has a force of an hand.
Oh, okay.
So it
Then
doesn't,
matter.
What?
Oh.
What? Why would he do that? I know, because he's on, he's on health at 7 life.
I mean, it's so likely that one of these 3 cards is something that you want to force a will.
Yeah, exactly.
So they have the 1 card you want to force a will plus the 2 cards.
Yeah, exactly. I
So we
completely
just
agree.
better to counter recall, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have the water? And
That
here's
was
the
it, and he's
chase.
the
That's
chase.
probably something that you want to
Yeah,
counter.
now he has to force.
But say that if one of those two cards that he also drew is a spell pierce, he might
I know.
he might be back in the game.
Yeah, like it was definitely better to force the ancestral lethal. No argue about that.
Yeah.
Because he's just giving your opponent free cards. That's good enough. Okay, he's going down to 5.
That is the scariest look I've ever seen.
Yeah, because Peter is just behaving very like a child, let's say. I give him the scary look from time to time.
Yeah.
But he's like my friend, but I wouldn't mind hitting him from time to time,
Yeah.
for sure.
I can definitely see that.
So you hit a brainstorm, and he finds 2 pyroblasts in it. Pyroblast. He willing it down did go down to 4. I'm like, you're just. Is he gonna kill Aaron? Because he should be on 4 right now, right? And if he, oh, he has his scavenging moves like
Is there another one?
Yeah, the players are basically just going through the motions. The game is basically just over.
Yeah. They don't even update our very high tech life counters, life counts.
Normally we update it, you know, like almost always.
Yeah, almost always, but you have to excuse us if we will not. Oh,
I feel like the total amount of updates is like 20 during the 2 tournaments. So
4, 6, 7?
no, it's definitely more.
again.
Come on, Peter. This is the moment where I want to punch you.
Okay. Well, it's true.
Yeah, it is true. I want to punch you.
You're never in a very good spot if you have to jump. He drew the ball, then he's gonna win.
Like
Jesus.
Jeez, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It is the winning bolt of the top, right? Wow. Okay, so anyway, Aaron Kalinski extends into the finals. Like, I really
If
thought
he
like.
tapped out a little better, he could have used his scavenging ooze. So that he wouldn't be drained by Shaman.
Yeah,
Also,
exactly.
if he forced the ball down to still, he would have also won.
Oh yeah, that's, well actually you see a little bit of this kind of like screw up the game because like if he worked better with the scavenging ooze, like he could remove the card which was about to be removed with the Death Shaman and say him affected 2 life.
Yeah,
So
but
Except
his,
the tropical island that he didn't have.
yeah, exactly. So his life total will be way
Too many mistakes. Like,
yeah, way higher. And also, yeah, as Peter just said, like he tapped the tropical island, he didn't have to tap, so he would survive this turn and kill
Yeah,
him
you
with
were
death,
lucky,
or
but
at least
when I
one more
when I
turn.
played this
So
on
that's
the
exactly what
lava
we
lens, I
said with
just
the
did this
ancestral. Like this,
and I
something like
didn't
this can
play
just
the other ones
happen, you
because
know?
I said go
Yeah,
ahead.
exactly.
Hey,
And I mean, like,
because
he can't be really
the
upset
game
about like
was
his
like,
unluck or something like that because he
Yeah.
could definitely win this game. He just tapped the wrong lands and happened to lose to.
I like
Well,
that.
anyway, guys,
Like,
we congratulations to
today.
Anton Karlinski who advances into the finals, and you're gonna see him battling against a sweet Jace control back to
He will
basics
probably
there.
want a little bit of time before the finals. So
Yeah, exactly. So we'll be back in 10 minutes.
Okay.
You.